All right, here we go. We got Scott's truck, right? Yep. Scott's truck. It's we're gonna go through and do a quick diag. We got driver, passenger mirrors. All right, right there. Cylinder 4 contribution balance. Cylinder 5 contribution balance. Cylinder. Oh no, 6. I'm sorry, 6. I thought it was 2, 5, and 8 because 2, 5, and 8's known hot cylinders. So that's actually 6. I was wrong. So 2, 5, and 8. But we got cylinder 5 misfire. Injectors can cause a misfire, but it's also just as suspect for valve train to cause a misfire too. So misfire, normally you get a contribution balance if injector's bad, and if the injector is obviously screwed up enough to where it's firing when it's not supposed to, then it could throw a misfire because of an injector. But a lot of times it's valve train. Sometimes. All right, fan clutch, P1000, which means it codes. I don't know how long since it codes, or it hasn't ran through a drive test to clear the P1000, so something's not happy there either. And water and fuel. So yeah, hang on. All right, not much really to look at here. Fuel rail pressure seen 0.49. All right, we're gonna fire it up and watch fuel trims, but actually I'm not gonna fire it up. Let's do relative compression real quick. All right, let's do this. Ain't that a bummer? Let's go ahead and go here and look. It's pretty definitive right there with that uneven crank. Now we turn into a actual compression test. Let's go down here and look at let's see what we got here. Let's see how long. No, I did that. I did that. I made it not start. Yeah, I did that. All right, number 5. So we got number 5, so that means we ought to manual compression test on number 5, because they uninspect the change in it. A lot of times we'll let's see if any other ones drop. We're just gonna watch it for a minute.
I drove about 15, 20 miles to get home.
All right, let's just watch it first. So now, or we could just take a bore scope. I mean, I'd want to take a bore scope and look at the piston and also run a compression test. We need to do that real quick and decide which way to go.
So we're getting Seymour wrapped up.
Yep, got front cover on, intake, valve covers, new injector on number 7, Y pipe, clean turbo up, new engine harness, cam crank sensors, low pressure regulator, coolant Y pipe, lower rat hose.
Some new power steering fluid. Clean that bottle up.
Yeah, cleaned the bottle up, made it look good. It looks brand new. Cleaned up quite a bit of it. So we got a power steering fluid flush out of it too. And yeah, no, it's coming along. It'll be wrapped up today. Maybe.
Yeah.
Then we'll go on a test drive, check it out, and then we'll see. Well, we got a Ford Motorcraft upper radiator hose. Here's the old one. I don't know if you can tell, they're nowhere near the same. Like, nowhere near. So, I mean, go check the part number. Maybe it's for any series. Oh, where'd it go? Yay! Oh, yay! Alright, well, here's Seymour's. I wanted to make sure we got all the stuff hooked back up. We only had one battery cable here and another one they was waiting on it. I mean, the bolt, not the battery cable, the bolt. But we got them all. They had Phillips, all kinds of stuff on it. There's all kinds of wires that were hooked up on here. So I engaged power takeoff. I've only driven it about 10 miles so far. Really just hoping all that stuff is hooked up and it's got power to it, and just I don't know a lot about how to run all the switches and where everything goes, so That's the same with snow plows. You know, anytime we mess with snow plows, I don't have any way to test to see if it works. So that's pretty common and regular for, you know, if you, I mean, honestly, if you get a truck back from a shop, just maybe take a look at all the add-ons, because, you know, it does have a catalytic converter on it, and it stinks like nasty. So that need to address that. We only did one injector. We only did one. I mean, it's sitting here right now. It could be a lot worse. So we'll just see. I mean, they know too that if the injectors go, you know, we'll either do one side or go in and do all of them. And we'll do a Fickum harness at the same time too, because we just did a little refresh on their Fickum harness. You guys seen the other videos on engine harness prep? Basically ran the Fickum harness through that just because I don't remember what happened. I don't know. We didn't have the one here in the building, but it's all good. I mean, it hasn't. We also dropped the fuel pump. I'm gonna get down here and I'll show you exhaust and fuel pump. It's just gonna be loud. I'm letting it warm up a little more. We just got back from lunch, so not sure how loud it's gonna be. Let's just go in here and take a look around. See what we did. Resealed it. Power takeoff, go figure. I've never seen one that way. This company could do that. I probably should paint those, right? You know? We did not do glow plugs and wires. They literally look new. They look new.
Because you never know what you might find on your basement door. Hi, squirrel.
That was looking pretty ragged right there in that oil pan. I don't know that it's going to make the cut. We're going to clean out. I mean, we can make it look good, but we physically lost material. Like, it's thin. You can see. Yeah. We got 35 on an uncut. Okay. 0, 10, 20, 30. Oh, 32. Let's go back to 32. Yeah, that's a little bit tearing apart. We can go backwards if yours. All right, so we're gonna call 33. We'll call 30. That's 34 right there. It's uncut. It's a bummer. So we're gonna have to look at the pistons in 4 and 6. Let's check 8.
Sorry, Smokey.
It's like 32. Let's go back a little. Yep. Now let's do this. Go back up. Right there. I'll put it over here. Damn. Those are high. This whole side is high, which might mean this side got decked more. Bummer.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Or maybe all the rods are bent over there and that side's just short.
Maybe.
I don't know. Guess we'll find out.
So we got the rear cover off of James's. Look at that. This is why they tell you to cut the sealant, because look, there's nothing really in there. It pulled it out, and the sealant really glued that on there. See it, both tabs are locked on. Those little tabs are supposed to be glued to the end of this. I think I can pull it out, and I got it. Whew. That little dowel rust in there, it'll break, and you have to. Well, that might have. Looks like front crank seal was leaking too. So, yep.
Here it is.
Just a little in there. With that heat, it might wick it in there. Maybe. It's a pain in the butt to break these dowels. You break this dowel off, that's a pain in the butt. Make sure this rubber don't get hot. That dowel in there, boy, they break. Let me see if I can say it wiggling.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
This thing actually does run pretty good. Let's fire it up. I cannot find that. That is in the back of the truck somewhere. I need to find it. Let's pull it out and go see if cruise works. All right, and right there it says speed control, PCM present, and it's on present. So cruise should be on. It should be working. I guess I can just show it. Let me just go through. We'll go to module reprogramming, programmable parameters, and speed items right here. Speed items. Set the switch to on. We'll just keep it up here. Then 48, 48, 7. That's it. All right, we're gonna check out Meadows real quick. Looking at the cruise control. Let's go right here. I'm hooked up to it, plugged in. I got the amp research running off. So here, you probably should show. Okay, right there. I'm hitting SCCS. Okay, set up and down. There's resume, and there's off, and there's on. So up, down, resume, off, on. So it is getting signal from the buttons into the PCM. So I wanted to check that, and then we go in. These are the cylinder heads that were completely caked with carbon. They were, I mean, it was ½ inch, sometimes 3/4 of an inch thick. It almost, I mean, well, okay, it wasn't 3/4. Every bit of ½ inch thick of soot on the inside of the intake ports. So this truck actually does suffer. Right now, the catalytic converter it stinks like it's, so that's, we got to address that. And then the next thing is, it's only building about 20 pounds of boost, 22 at the most. I mean, it's heavy though. It's got a big old bucket on the back of it. It's heavy. It's like your regular pickup truck pulling a camper all the time. All the time. It probably weighs 20,000, 20, whatever. It's almost grossed. So it doesn't have a lot of get up. I mean, it does. It'll go. It's fine. There's more. Take the cat, fix that. It's still going to be a little sluggish because it's not getting air. It's the intake ports are so clogged up. Right now the intake is clean, so we're getting a lot out of it, a lot more air, but it's being bottlenecked right at the intake ports on the cylinder heads. They're completely caked with crap. So I thought I would throw that. The only way to really fix it, take the freaking heads off. I mean, so let's just drive it, and we're gonna get not very good mileage. I mean, probably no more than, you probably don't even pay attention to mileage. They probably don't. So, but it could be a lot more economical, a lot more powerful. Could have more power. It could, but we're just choking it. So it's kind of tough. But you know, by the that's where the sensors come in, the electronic engine, you know, the map sensor, the EVP sensor, and all that. It can adjust the fuel for how much air is going in and out. So thank God it's doing that. So it's not going to be black smoking and throwing. Because of the restriction in air, so it's going to adjust how much fuel it actually throws at it. So that's pretty cool.
Memory card.
All right, so we also have TBC fault, and a lot of times it'll be the actual brake controller, but with this being a bucket truck on the back, there's all kinds of wiring going on back there. I didn't even address the TBC fault. There's a bucket truck. It probably does pull, but sometimes it will throw TBC fault while the brake controller actually still works. So I don't know if this is one of them or not. I do have the lights out and the instrument cluster over there. Just kind of giving it a rundown. We've had it for a good long while. It seems to be pretty good though. I mean, I've driven it. I've put 55. I put 67 miles on it. So yeah, we did a intake, Y pipe, and these are the cylinder heads. Seymour's truck. We got it. Just check the oil. Oil good. Power steering was a hair low. Coolant was a little low. This is one of them where the coolant level changes when you fire it up. I wanted to just, I'm not gonna hook the computer up. We put one injector in it, and the other ones look like cobblestone hell. So, I mean, we can get a little more life out of this. Let's get a little more life. Unless if one decides it wants to go again, we'll do the whole side, I guess. But we should. Now that we can take the brunt of the cost of what we just did, because this is not cheap. Once we get the brunt of it done, here we go. Hang on. About a 15 15 seconds before it actually smooths out. So that'll get worse. That'll get to 10 minutes. You know, and at the beginnings it's like seconds. 5 seconds, 2 seconds, and now we're at about 15 seconds before it actually goes smooth. And this is inside the shop, so this is not outside cold. We might want to definitely keep it plugged in this winter. Keep it plugged in for sure. But these injectors will not like even one hard cold start at 0 degrees. They'll be done. You'll lose the injector right there. I guess when in doubt, we need to use this. This works pretty good for the big, loose, flaky stuff. Now is a good time to do this. Look, I just knocked the oil off of it. It's trying to be clean, so I'm going to knock the big crap off. It's making a mess everywhere, but we need to get it off. Well, I already got most of that. Look at this one. Yeah, like all this stuff. Yeah, we just run over it and get what we can off. You know, just start off here. I don't know if we're going to thermal blast it.
No, I don't think so. I talked.
I mean, I just put a fat coat of paint on it. Call it good.
Yeah. Going to get a really hot bath.
This is what's nice about this right here. We can just use the crane, crank this thing so it's straight up and down how I'm putting it in it. Hook it to the crane, pick it up off the stand. All right, we'll take a quick look around James's here. I'm gonna leave the cam bearings in for now. We're gonna go ahead and let it go through the process. It's nice to have the journals protected. I don't know about the crank, man. It actually, a couple of the bearings looked a little rough. Where was it? Just a little. I mean, nothing really concerning, you know, nothing that I would think. Well, we'll find out. I'll put it over there on the V blocks, and we'll see what kind of run out we got on it. Hopefully, if the run out's good and it's true, then we'll just polish her up and balance it and call it done. If we've got some run out, we'll probably send this sucker off and have her cut. Clay County Engine Builders is they've cut quite a few of them for us, and haven't had any ill effects from it. So if we have to, we'll be running down there, and I found a way to work around a schedule and wait time. If you guys, I did find a way, like to walk into a machine shop and another one other than us and get something done right now. That's money. It takes money, and it takes more money than what they're asking for the job. If you do that, you could get this crankshaft ground and cut by tomorrow, and I've done it. So that's how we're going to run this here. It's not worth waiting. It's worth getting whoever's going to do the job to be 100% focused on it, because we're paying the dog crap out of them for it. So they're going to focus. They're going to do a great job. That's my experience, that if you want a great job, you got to freaking pay for it. Pay. So we almost pay double of what it costs for a crankshaft to be ground. We'll pay a little over double, actually, but it'll get done right now. And it'll be wonderful because the person doing it is going to care. So that's awesome. Underneath the hood on this one, man, it's nice. With a no torque converter, right? It's a manual, so it's got a freaking clutch. So if you're running it down the road, you can high gear, say 60 mile an hour, 70 mile an hour, give it a little bit of throttle, and it'll bring the boost up to about 20 pounds. You hardly feel it at all. Just build the boost up to 20 pounds. And then then it's like primed and ready. And then if you blip that throttle a little bit while it's got 20 pounds of boost, this sucker will launch. It launches pretty good. It runs good. I mean, it's got torque. I'm very happy with it. I mean, very happy with it. And dang, look at that. It needs to paint the inner side of the hood though. Looks like crap. And we gotta wash it. So other than that, this old girl, hopefully I'll have the miles up. We can get the oil change done on it and have it ready, so when he flies in, I'm actually going to have it at the airport, parked in economy parking, and we overnighted the key fob so that he can just get off the plane. Nobody has to wait on him. It'll be on his own schedule. Get off the plane, take the economy bus over to whichever one it is, and whichever one we park at, or whichever airline, whatever. Take that, and he can just jump off the bus, jump right in his truck, and roll out. That would be cool. And then he can, yeah, that's awesome. So That way he doesn't have to worry about getting an Uber or ride or taxi or none of that crap, or even us going up, because I think it's like 8 o'clock, which ain't such a big deal, but I'd rather run up there in the morning on my way into work and just drive up there, because it's about a 45-minute drive up there. So we might as well do it whenever we can and just let him have his first drive in his truck with nobody around, just him. So that way, that's a little get to know moment. This old girl's scary though. I mean, this short wheelbase truck with these pretty much brand new tires on them. Yeah, they're dirty right now, but they're brand new. I mean, they got in a little dirt where I parked at. She'll push the butt around. It'll kind of, once you hammer on it and you get 40-50 pounds of boost and that back end starts walking around, it gets a little squirrely. You might pay attention. Oh, and the brakes. Okay, the brakes. Now, after a long drive on the highway, this is the one we put 4 power steering pumps in. After a long drive down the highway, you're gonna have to pay attention. The brakes will fade just for a minute, and you just have to relax and just let the pump catch up, let everything catch up, and it's absolute. I drove it 350 miles, and I didn't smash into the gas of nobody. So you ought to be able to do that too, right? I mean, we just got to pay attention to it, and maybe, who knows? Maybe as time goes on, that new pump, everything will seat in better, and it'll be good. Because, yeah, we took the last pump apart. We did. And there's no reason for it. It's the surface that the little fingers ride on when they go out is just horrible. It's the surface inside of it. It actually is very, very repairable. Like, we could reman, from what I saw, probably do a better job remanning power steering pumps than what they're doing at the factory. Like, make the little fins and make all the parts and make all that stuff. So I think we could. But this one, we kind of went way over budget. Way over budget. We exposed the entire frame, painted the entire frame. Up in there. Starting to get a little old, you see it? Had it for a while. It'll be alright though, she's a good horse. Alright, that's it for that one. Let's get back over here. He took all of it out, so we do have a lot of parts in the back. Now, when we got done with this job and we got to a point, I had to get everything that had to do with this, because he's from New Jersey. We're in Kansas City. Turn this thing off. And when we got this thing to where it's good, I had to get everything out of the shop, and now we've got a couple more. You can see how bad it looks right now. There's crap everywhere. Imagine if this stuff was still stacked here too. It'd be horrible. So it's a mess in there, but that's everything that has to do with the job. And what sucks is that piece is in there somewhere. So, I mean, it's real easy to put on. You just literally put it right there and go, and it pops right on. And the pieces up here, these trim pieces that go on the dash, you see those bolts are not in? That bolt right there, I think those bolts are in the door over there, so those, I can snug those down. Those will be good. But we can't go digging. We've got a bolt here, a bolt there, and then one bolt in the center down here. I'll throw those in. Those are nothing. But finding the trim pieces to pop over it, they're in the back. Obviously, we missed pulling those 3 pieces out, which is a freaking drag. But we do have, there's exhaust, there's all kinds of stuff in the bed of this truck. But you know what? The clutch is good. Everything's. We haven't gotten. I mean, you're gonna have to get some floor mats because the clutch really gets in the way. The ones that we had in it, the clutch actually kept sticking underneath the floor mat. So I just didn't even, because the WeatherTech, well, they weren't even WeatherTech. I don't know what they were. We obviously haven't bought any. I mean, it does have, let's see what we got on it. I've actually been driving it. I drove it in today. It's got a little fuel in it. It's got 353 miles on it. So, heck yeah. What are you doing? Cleaning stuff up. It's a mess back here. Once James, we got James's spare block. Now we're just warming everything up and getting started. That one's good. That one's done. It's locks work. It's muddy though because where I had to park it. It's my driveway's too big, but cruise control works. Power door locks work. That's freaking awesome. Everything works. There's a little bit of noise from the boot. Honestly, it push pins on. The same with that one down there. Now that's the carpet. You know, I've been preaching about the boots. It'd be just as simple as taking a flat piece of billet and maybe having some grooves machined in it, and then taking a boot and attaching the boot to the aluminum piece that is flat. That was my idea of it. We obviously didn't get to that. There's quite a few other things. I mean, he took all this dash out and got it. So we need to have